Hi, I'm Karen Ray, and this is the Fave Biz Society and Fave Lifestyles. And this is our creator studio where we connect and have workshops and masterminds to propel us forward in life and business. So these are interactive workshops that you can partake in, and they are led by our Biz Society members, our subscribing members. So Hillary Bassett Ross is with us today, and we are going to be talking about how to manifest your ideal life. So Hillary, I'm going to let you take center stage and tell us a little bit about you, and go ahead and tell us how we can manifest that wonderful life that we all desire.
All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've got some slides for you, and we'll just see if I can still see you if I do presenter mode. Let me see. Can you guys see, do you see the whole thing, or do you see just the slides? Do you see just the slide, or do you see all the other things?
All the slides.
Okay.
And Hillary too, I'm not, oh no, I can see when people are coming in. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to see. So you are good to go.
Okay, so let's not do, probably not going to be able to do the full slideshow, but hopefully you guys can see that. So I wanted to let you guys know as well. So this is a little Zoom, unless someone here has some genius idea of ways you can only see just that without getting distracted, let me know. But I don't know if we can do that without it being not what you want to see.
So right now we can see the one slide now that you've maximized it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, I wanted to welcome you guys. Manifesting is one of my most favorite topics to talk about. And what makes me so excited to share this with you is that every single one of us actually has the same ability to do this. We just haven't known how to do it. And so that's what is going to be. Oh, I don't want to have you guys read my notes. Today's going to be what today's going to be. So when we get started here, I want you to have something in your mind of something that you would like to have come into your life, something that you would like to manifest. So the other thing I want to let you know is that I will be sending out this document as a PDF. So it's going to get kind of meaty and kind of technical. I don't want you to worry that you're not going to get all the details, because I'm going to go ahead and send it to everyone. So don't worry about that. Let's see if I can, you know what? Tell you what I need to do. Let's do that. So to kick things off, I like to talk about what happened for me when all of a sudden I discovered this. It was about 20 years ago. I wandered into a bookstore, and there was a book that just drew me in. And for whatever reason, I was like, I need to buy this. I need to own this book. And this particular book described what you needed to do to create your reality through focusing your thoughts and intentions. And I had never heard of this before. I was like, what is this? And so I decided I would try it. And literally within 60 days, I had a completely new career, new home. I bought this new condo, bought a new car, had an amazing job. I had a new boyfriend, and I had a new set of friends, and it all happened within 60 days. And I was like, what did I just do? Like, what is going on? And what, as the years have gone on, I came to recognize that this was something I was really, really gifted at. But the irony is that there were certain areas where some things would come easily and some things didn't. And for me, I like to think about it as we just haven't really it hasn't been explained to us how to do this. So that's what brings me here. And that's what I'm so excited to share with you guys today. So my name is Hillary Bassett Ross, and I consider myself a manifestation mentor, energy healing practitioner, and spiritual teacher. This is hilarious. Well, but the irony is all three of them really come back to the exact same things. They're all really helping each individual tap into the power that's already within them and helping them live through that. And being able to understand what manifesting is and how to do it is a huge part of that. So today we're going to be talking about what it is, how it works, there are 4 key ingredients. I'm going to make sure that you know the common mistake that most people make. And I'm going to walk you through a template. Now, there's a few more details in there. I'm not sure we're going to get to it time-wise because I want to make sure we can get through the tangible action part and you guys can put the action into use. So the most important thing when we're talking about this is to recognize that everyone comes from a different perspective, background, lens, experience. And I think that actually sometimes does us a little bit of a disservice, because what I notice so often is that most people have a challenge understanding this. And it really has to do with the fact that when we all sat down in science class, we were not taught what our reality is constructed of. We didn't realize that we were in a quantum reality. And it's really important that we start from that place where we kind of take a step back and recognize, actually, what we were taught all of this was, science has actually evolved since all of those textbooks were printed. And instead, we know without a shadow of a doubt that we live in a quantum reality. I love this article. So at this point, it is very known that this concept of resonance, of synchronized vibrations, it's not just related to our own consciousness and how our consciousness operates. It's really kind of this core fundamental concept that is interwoven through all aspects of reality. It's a universal phenomenon with mysterious tendencies towards self-organization. So I'm going to take you through step by step what that means and how we can put that to use. Manifestation at its core is the concept, the idea of creating your reality by focusing your thoughts. And it works by way of what's known as the law of attraction, which is a universal law with this idea of like seeks like. Energetically, on an energetic level, like-minded things are calling to it, magnetizing the same type of thing. And then that is translated into the outside world, into physical form. It's really important we understand this like seeking like. It's happening on an energetic level. One energetic vibration is magnetizing the same energetic vibration. What's interesting is that each of us individually are very much a participant in this. We have our own vibration as well, and our own unique vibration is constructed of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, pretty much anything that's going on in your energetic field. I have a little video that helps describe this. I think it's helpful to recognize, thinking about it, like you are a magnet. You are a giant magnet in a giant soup of energy. And you're calling to yourself. This magnet is always, always, always on. You cannot turn it off. It's simply how reality organizes itself. This is really important to understand, because at the core, all things are magnetizing at this energetic vibrational level. And because your vibration is constructed of your thoughts and emotions, it's your thoughts and emotions that are producing, organizing your reality. But that's actually a beautiful thing. That's a really wonderful thing, because that gives us the opportunity to do it deliberately, to do it with intention. So one of the ironies of having this discussion is I'm here teaching you how to manifest, but at its core, you guys actually already know, because you've been doing it your entire life. You will do it your entire life, because it's how we operate, it's how we function, it's how reality organizes it. The shift is when you do it with intention, when you understand how it works, and then you can start to guide and direct how you do this so that you can create your own reality. For this to work, because it's like seeking like, your vibration must be a match. I have another little video that kind of helps you understand this. And I want you to really recognize this is happening on an energetic level. It's happening underneath. Think about it like the source code. So think about this experience you want. It has a vibration, but if your vibration is different, they're not the same. They will not attract. However, once you get your vibration to the vibration of the desired experience, now all of a sudden you've magnetized it. Now all of a sudden it's a match. So I'm going to take you through the 4 ingredients to make sure that you're able to line up your vibration. I'm going to go into each of these in deep detail. And this list is going to be a little different from other manifesting teachers. And that's because I always teach it from the perspective of energy, because at its core, all things are energy, and we are able to guide and direct our energy. And when we split it out in this way, it helps us really dial into all the key pieces that need to be included for your magnet to ultimately call to itself exactly what you're trying to manifest. So a desire, I like to talk about this like it's the specifications. It's the specifications of your order to the universe. I like to also say one of the things that we all always assume is like, oh, well, that's too perfect for me, or that's not. Actually, I want you to really empower yourself to be as clear of all the exact elements that you are looking for, because that is basically like a set point of what it is you're trying to call in. When we work with desire, we want to be as absolutely clear as we possibly can. Intention. How are desire and intention different? They are different. I like to talk about desire as though it's a line item, it's a list, it's all the specifications. Think of it almost like a noun. Intention, I consider it more like a plan, like an action, or like a verb. Something happens within you energetically when you're clear about your intention. The other piece of this that I think it's really helpful to consider, when we include our intention, we're signaling out there like, hey, this is what I am choosing to co-create. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want. The desire, we've clarified. We've put in those specifics. The intention, something else shifts a little bit when we're able to be really clear about what we're trying to manifest, and we use it by way of an intention. We're going to get clear step by step once we get into this webinar.
I'm probably going to be on this call at 11.
Someone's not on mute.
So I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
You're okay. You're good. Vibration. We go into this really deeply, and right now this is a little of a tinier scope, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But essentially, this is what is constructed from the confluence of our thoughts, emotions, feelings, energy, and all of it is what creates this magnet that calls to it. But the one thing you have to be really, really careful of is that your thoughts and feelings are really fueled by your core beliefs. And those core beliefs are both conscious and subconscious. It's a little bit of a kicker. As I mentioned, these core beliefs relate to what we think is possible, what we think we deserve, what is our self-worth? Do we really think that we get to have this thing that we're trying to call in? And we want to be really, really careful, because your subconscious beliefs, we're not always able, we can't find them, we don't know them, we don't know they're there, but they will override all of these other things. And that is why the most common mistake that most people fall into is to not realize that your core beliefs are one of the most critical ingredients when it comes to manifesting. They need to be empowered and they need to be aligned. This always happens. And we want to make sure that we're addressing anything that's going on subconsciously. Like I said, your core beliefs will have the final word, and many of them are subconscious. So all the other pieces can be in line. All the other pieces can be there. And this is really something that's so important to understand. You can do all of the other things right. You can have all the other ingredients, but when this one isn't aligned, that's just going to knock the whole thing down. So it's really, really important to pay super close attention to it. Because of that, I like to bring us into this concept of the troubleshooting, why things aren't happening. So we know that our thoughts, emotions, or energies create this vibration that is the magnet that calls to it an exact match. We know that we live in a quantum reality. We can apply these principles, but there are some times that you're like, I'm doing all the things, I'm trying, I'm making the vision board, I'm doing all the stuff. Why isn't this happening? Well, if something is not coming into your reality and you're focusing intently on trying to manifest it, it's usually one of three things. Most commonly, one of those four areas of these four ingredients is out of alignment. And most likely it's going to be your core beliefs. It could be there's some type of other energetic interference. And it could be in cases of something super significant and there's a chronic, it's just not showing up, not showing up, not showing up. That's when it could be that there's something related to a soul path or divine timing. Not the most common. As a result, and you guys get to take this away, all of these pieces need to be included, but what I want to point you out to is everything above this horizontal line is what we can do consciously. Everything below is usually what's going on in our subconscious or other things we're not aware of. So it's really helpful to understand. I think this is something that most manifesting teachers completely overlook. And it's something that I was very frustrated with because for me, I got really good at this. I was doing all the things, but there were certain things that for whatever reason, just like, dude, why is this not? What is it? And that's part of why I've created this process for us to all really understand. We always want to take a look at those beliefs and make sure those are dialed in. If it's still not showing up, could be some energetic interference, still not, could be a soul path reason. So what we're going to do is I hope you guys brought something to write with. We are going to walk through a process that I created to help you get into a practice and to start to make this happen for yourself. The first one, so I start with an example up at the top, and I bounce around. I've got a few ideas, just as an example. So I want you to think about something that you would like to manifest and take maybe 30 seconds here and write that down and see if you can include as much detail as possible in 30 seconds so we can keep going. You guys can go back and add more. Now, I actually used an example from my own life because when I manifested my dog, everyone has been like, how did you get such an amazing, good dog? I was very, very, very clear on specifically what I was looking for. And I want you to also really empower yourself. Find that needle in the haystack. It is possible. I think if anyone looked at this list, they'd be like, you're not going to find that. There's no way you're going to find a female white shepherd rescue who was a service dog, who doesn't bark and is extreme. Who gets that from a rescue? Well, I did. So I want you guys to really empower yourselves to find something very specific that you would like to desire, that you would like to have. Give you just a few more seconds and we'll keep going. Okay. As I mentioned, there's something really powerful with our intention. And when we bring this, I actually bring this into everything I do, and that's a whole different thing that I teach as well. But I always like to include a statement of intention because I like to say that's basically like a co-creation with the universe. It's making a plan, it's getting more active. And so I like to create a statement of what you want to manifest in the present tense, paired with what it is that you're going to feel as a result. So important that when we think about what we want to manifest and what we desire, we take our mind to when I have this item, this thing, this experience, how am I going to feel? What is that going to do for me in my life? What is my new experience going to feel like? I'll give you guys little less than a minute as well on this one. Go ahead and move forward. The feeling of this. We're really going to dig into this. You're going to be like, stop with the feeling. And I'm going to be like, no, I'm not going to do it because this is so important. This feeling, the sensation of it is essentially that magnet. It's a huge part of it. So whenever we're thinking about something we want, how many feelings can you get in there? So this example, fulfillment, relief, never-ending joy, peace, chilled out. I want you to find at least 3, 4 different feelings, different sensations that you're going to be experiencing when this new desire is in your life. Give me about 20 more seconds. Okay, so this is what I consider my advanced maneuver. So because we are magnets and because the outside world is reacting to what we have going on, we're trying to create this desire. We know we need to magnetize it, and we know we're going to have these different sensations. Now what we do is we create this sensation in a parallel way. So back to my example on the previous one, I would experience never-ending joy. I would experience feeling at peace. I would experience feeling chilled out. How can I create those sensations? Or we get really creative. How can I create that sensation in my now experience? How can I get my body to feel and experience these sensations in this moment that I'm in right now? So for me, if I'm trying to manifest this new career and it's going to bring me never-ending joy, I'll tell you what brings me never-ending joy: my dance class. So after I'm done with my dance class, I'm just elated, I'm thrilled, I'm grinning, I'm happy. Nothing really rivals that sensation. That's something that I want in my life consistently. I want my body producing that sensation. I also want to be producing the sensation of feeling at peace. What's a way that I can do that in a different parallel way that gets my body used to this? Think of these items of what you were trying to create, and then how can you create a parallel sensation, a parallel experience in your now? I was actually proud when I did this. I was like, I really do need to sit on the patio with magazines and sip cocktails. But this is something I'm going to add to my life. Okay. As I mentioned before, our beliefs are so critical. They are the critical ingredient. And the reason why I always separate them out, because technically they do fall under the category of vibration, but the reason why I separate them out is because we really want to make sure we include them. So here's this next example. And what we want to do is check in with ourselves and write down some statements that help reiterate the fact that you are deserving, that you are worthy of this, that yes, this can come into your life. So I like to have a few of these sentences. So it's really interesting. This can be so overlooked. And so you'll do all the other things, But if deep down you're like, I don't think I'm actually worthy of this, and that could even be a subconscious belief, that's going to derail the whole thing. So I want you to really pay special attention to this particular one because it's so, so, so important. There's something really powerful as well when you write down this statement. Part of why I love this process is because it gives me something tangible to go back to look at and be like, no, I know I deserve this. I'm worthy of it. Here's what I'm doing. It's a really, really powerful thing to just remind yourself and keep yourself feeling that sense of worthiness and deservedness. Give you 15 more seconds. Okay. And included in this process, once we have all these elements written out, your work's not done. Your work's not done. We really always focus on aligning our vibration with what it is that we're wanting to do, keeping this top of mind in a few different ways that are really important. I'm a big fan of vision boards. I have to tell you, it kind of like tickles me pink when I look through my Pinterest boards because I created these years ago and I'm like, I have this. The visual, having that visual is so, so helpful. And it really dials back into that desire, that specification, being very, very clear on what you want. You look at it once and it kind of triggers the whole thing. You're like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're calling in. Practicing a visualization. And what I mean by that is taking a moment to, in your mind's eye, observe yourself experiencing this. What are you wearing? What are you drinking? Who's hanging out with you? What do your surroundings look like, smell like, taste like, feel like? The more rich we can more like richness and depth and detail you can add to these visualizations, the more powerful it can be. And essentially they've done research. I actually need to dig up the study so I can include it in here. But essentially the brain doesn't know the difference between what you're visualizing and what's actually happening in the outside world. And this synchronization is so important for this magnet. The thing about vibration as well too, and the thing about what we're always trying to manifest is that rarely is anyone trying to manifest a bad time, right? So one of the things we always want to be really, really focused on is really looking at where we have areas of stress, frustration, overwhelm, and how can we get ourselves into a better mood? How can we get ourselves to a softer, relaxed, more receptive state? Maintaining your vibration, I really always like to include, really try to keep things joyful, happy, light. Because it's that state that you will be feeling when this thing comes in. Remember, we need to be in the vibrational experience of it arriving. If we're like, no, I desired it and I did all the things, but I'm like pissed off and like bitter about it. So notice too, like that type of feeling and that type of sensation is not an aligned vibration. So it's something that we always need to pay really close attention to. I cannot overemphasize the importance of taking action. This process is very powerful when you start to put it into play and you start to go through it step by step, again and again. You get clear, you focus your intention, you align your vibration, you focus on your empowered beliefs. It's so important. But I'm going to tell you what is like the real kicker when all of a sudden you start taking action. When you start taking action, that is sort of like, I like to say, you're signaling to the universe that you are serious and you are ready and you are doing it. And that can absolutely, that's been my experience, 100% when you get clear on what you want, you do all these things, and then you identify, how can I start getting ready? How can I start taking a specific step that is as though this is already coming in? So the example with the dog, you want to adopt a dog. Well, one action, obviously, explore what's out there. Look on Pet Finder. I never thought of this before I got a dog, but when I was applying for the rescue that I have, they were like, well, what food are you going to feed your dog? I was like, I don't know. That's little things like this you don't realize, but all of a sudden, when you get yourself ready, when you get yourself prepared, it's sort of like the universe is like, oh yeah, she's ready. Here you go. Oh, here you go. Here you go. So with everything that you're trying to attract, I want you to think about 3 action steps that you can take to get yourself ready. I'll give you just a few more seconds. This goes back to this vibration piece. It's helpful to choose for yourself, what are 3 ways that you can start to cultivate laughter, joy, gratitude, excitement, relief, ease? What are 3 action steps, and what are ways that align for you, that help you get yourself into a higher vibrational state? Something happens when we are deliberate about this and we're clear about it. It's one thing to say, hey guys, keep your vibration high, don't forget. Okay. Versus, okay, I'm actually proactively going to plan something with my friend who makes me laugh. I'm going to go and dance a little bit. I'm going to spend some time focusing on what I'm grateful for. Different, when we get really deliberate and proactive about making sure this is included, it absolutely can make a huge, huge, huge difference. Okay. Once we have all of those, I like to dial it down into one sheet. It's helpful to really go through all those details, make sure you have all those steps. But then as you move forward, it's nice to have one sheet for the takes you all the way through the journey of what it is you're trying to manifest. And I align it in this way so that we can see precisely all the pieces fit in. I start with the intention because our intention is so powerful. So what we would do is we would take that statement of intention from that first section, and then we would look at it. I intend, blah, 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 blah. The I experiences those sensations, those core experience. I want you to notice too, what I'm doing here, we always stay in the present tense. As we get a little further, I have a couple tips on why we do that. It's important to note, we always want to stay in the present tense, as even though it's something in the future and something you would like to call in, always stay in the present tense. So I experience is where you put in those sensations. Because our sense of deservedness and worth and empowered core beliefs are so important, I always like to make sure that I'm reiterating to myself, I deserve this. Yes, I do. Yes, I'm worthy of this. I deserve this. Yes, yes. Including that statement. I like to include this I allow fruition. If you're interested in getting a little more advanced with this, there's something really powerful as well about this concept of allowing, bringing in this essence of allowing as this goes through. We'll talk more in depth in a more advanced session. And part of this is I'm signaling to the universe, I'm ready because I'm going to be taking these steps. Watch me. I'm going to go on Pet Finder. I'm going to research dog foods. I'm going to fence my yard. I am taking the steps. The bottom too, I think it's really important. Thank you for bringing this new dog into my life. new career, new home, new soulmate, the soulmate, etc. So what we have is we have these steps that take us through each of these core ingredients and help you get clear and get concise. And once you really have that down in the full detail, then it's nice to just consolidate it onto one single sheet that you can just look at. And for each thing that you are trying to manifest, you can have one of these. And I'm going to send this to you guys so you have access to this. Now you guys have the tools. I'm going to take you into just a couple little key things. We're doing okay on time, and I want to make sure we have some time for Q&A. But there are a few things that are really important. There's a couple, I call them counterintuitive curveballs. That's helpful to understand. As we remember, this is about similar vibration magnetizing a similar vibration. And now this is super counterintuitive, because you would say, but I desire this, I want this, I don't have it now, I want it, I don't have it. Such a really important nuance is that when you're in that state of I want, you're saying, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. That I don't have is your broadcast. And that can just sort of topple the whole thing as well. So we always want to stay in, when we're imagining what we want, as counterintuitive as it is, when we focus our mind, we're like, I have this, thank you for this, I have this, it's here, I experience this, even though you don't. You sort of train your mind and your body and your thoughts to sort of get into that different mindset, instead of, I don't have it, it's not here yet, why, where's the thing, why, really, like, I have it, thank you, here it is, thank you. Another counterintuitive curveball is staying in the present tense instead of, I hope that this could happen in the future, I'd like to have. Doesn't, you're like, well, but I don't have it, it's not here yet. Really shifting from the I want to I have. I hope that I see myself. Instead of like, oh, I really hope this will happen. Thank you for really staying in these positive, affirmative, staying in the present tense, not the future. And that feeling is so, so, so important. And so every time you do this, every time you think about this, see how you can really cultivate that physical sensation. I have a little exercise you can do to practice this. Okay. So let's just do a little short exercise so you can see what on earth this lady is talking about. So I'm going to have you guys close your eyes. And those of you who are on camera or off camera can't see, close your eyes. And I want you just to tune into your body. Notice how your body is sitting on the chair. Notice the sensations of the environment you're in. Are you cold? Are you hot? Are you okay? How do you feel deep, deep, deep within? Okay. I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. Keep your eyes closed. And I want you to notice what happens in your body. See if you can notice what happens in your body. Okay. First scenario, here we go. I want you to imagine yourself. You have to catch a train. You have to catch a flight. You have to catch a ferry. You're running late. Things didn't work out. You're missing things. And you just got in the car. You're speeding off. And then all of a sudden you realize you forgot your phone. You have to turn around. You're going to miss the ferry, the flight, the train. Travel plans could be messed up. People could be pissed off. You name it. Okay, notice what's going on in your body. Okay, now we're going to try a new sensation. Just really stay with that sensation for a second so you memorize it. Okay. Now just sort of take a moment and sort of drop all of that down into the earth. Just be like, oh, done with that, done with that. Keep your eyes closed. And now I want you to imagine it is the most ideal holiday. Could be your birthday, could be Christmas, could be whatever it is. All of a sudden you are surrounded by those that you absolutely love and they absolutely adore you. You have laughter, there's amazing food, people are showering you with gifts. It's one of those like, I don't want this day to ever end. You just feel warm, you feel gooey, you feel delicious. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice if you notice a shift in the sensation in your body. For me, one of the things I noticed is that in the first scenario, it's almost like something in me kind of caves in. It's like I cave inward, like, oh, shoot, I missed the fairy. This is a big nightmare, blah, blah, blah. In the second scenario, something in me kind of expands. It's almost like there's a warmth in the heart space. There's an openness, there's an expansion. Pro tip, my friends, when all of a sudden you're able to connect into this sensation of that warmth, that expansion, and train yourself to cue this up when you are thinking about your desire, huge, huge, huge catalyst. We want to stay in that warm, open, expansive state. Another thing that I really recommend when we're trying to manifest something is that we really check in with our beliefs. Do I really believe it? Do I feel I deserve it? You know, one of the things that I think is actually funny too is, do you really think that you can manifest it? Because the challenge is if our belief says no, you just told the universe no. So this is something that as an energy healing practitioner, I help people work with, is resolving these beliefs at a subconscious level. And there's a variety of different ways that we can do it. And in another more advanced process, I can teach you that as well. I'll give you a hint. Muscle testing is one of the best ways that each of us can access this. And I go through that in another process. But it's something that we always look for when something is not coming. We always look to see if the beliefs are off. And that is something that's going on in the subconscious. So always be really, really mindful and recognize that what is happening in our subconscious is 100% what we are broadcasting out. And it's really important that we recognize what's in there and address it. Okay, friends. So that concludes the how to manifest portion. And if that was not enough for you, you are in luck, because I do have another masterclass on how to activate abundance. So that's another one. As I send out the materials for this, this is just about ready. And once that's ready, I'll send that for you guys as well. So you can take that class and you can learn, there's a 4-step process for that as well. And I just want to thank you all for joining me. And I want to encourage you to come to my website and sign up and make sure you get on my list, because I have a lot of all these fun resources. And follow me on social media and stay tuned for some more exciting courses. And now I kind of wanted to hustle. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Hillary, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so we can easily ask questions.
Perfect. And I'll stop the share.
Yes, well, thank you. Oh, whoops, it looks like we are still recording, but thank you for coming and joining. I took lots of notes, and just to have a process for it is so great. So we are going to stop the recording now. Let's see.